Hello and welcome to True Guidance Tarot. I'm Adriana Teodoro-Dier. I'm a spiritual medium and intuitive reader. I have a message for Aries today, and to let you know how this works, I have asked my guides and the other side, Spirit, for a message that will be deeply meaning and helpful for you as you navigate what's going on in your world. So, if you're new to this channel, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here, and I strongly encourage you to subscribe so that you can stay in contact with the beneficial information from the other side every week. And if you are returning, I'm so glad that you're here as well. Thank you for your support, and thank you also for sharing this awesome journey with me. So let's get straight into your cards, Aries. Things are not as bad as they seem. There's a strong message of wake up to potentials and to kind of what's there. So let me actually show you the cards. That would be good, wouldn't it? So the universe is presenting you with a Three of Wands. This is a big card of trust. Trusting the new journey, trust that we're going someplace we haven't gone before. We don't really know how to navigate it, but when this card shows up, it's like there's a force that's bigger than us guiding our footsteps. Whether you want to think of that as your higher self or your guides, or I've been reading a lot of Tara Brach, the future self. There's something that has you and that knows the steps. In fact, has stepped the steps before. I'm seeing a lot of interesting imagery right now as I'm describing this to you. It's almost like there's some past life knowledge of how to navigate this world, this situation, because you've been through something like this in the past. So yeah, I'm seeing a lot of footsteps kind of in the sand in a desert. It's very, very interesting. Now you're responding with the Eight of Cups. So there's part of you that is resisting this journey, that does not want to go in this new place. It's funny, you see this river down here? It's like a cavern or a gorge, and then there's a river down there. You're like down in that river. Your higher self is waiting for you up on the bridge, or it looks kind of like the diving board, but it's really a bridge. But you're all the way down there in the river. You're kind of lost in this emotion of like, what does this mean? What do I do? How do I navigate this? And you're feeling deeply sad. It's kind of like the weight of what you're feeling from others as well has really driven you to this low place. And I mean, like a deep sorrow. It's almost like you've taken in from everyone else what has been going on, and then it becomes this kind of cement inside yourself, and you just kind of like fall to the bottom of the ocean. So a lot of what you're feeling is serving to amplify any discontent, any sadness, any malaise that you've got. It's just amplifying it, so you're absorbing an amplifier. So let's see what they'd like you to do. We've got interesting advice. You'll notice there's no water here. So they presented you with an opportunity. You kind of took it to the water, but then we've got no water here. We've got the Page of Swords, we've got the Seven of Pentacles, and then we've got the Hierophant. So two strongly earth cards that are asking you to come back to the earth, come back up from the bottom of the ocean, come back and stand on the bridge with us. So this Page of Swords is asking you to quietly get a hold of your thoughts. It's very difficult to control your thoughts when you're in that extreme emotional place. But this is saying rise back up into the mind, quiet the mind. It's okay in there. The Page of Swords is not afraid of feeling emotion, but she also understands that it doesn't have to rule everything that she does. So... And you know, I'm a very emotional person myself, so it's like I'm hearing myself say that, I'm like, yeah, right. But this is not about me here. This is about explaining this to you. But what I'm saying is I understand how hard it is sometimes to pull yourself out of the depths of that emotion. But understand that the thoughts are really the key. Lightening up, allowing yourself to see from a different perspective, and understanding that what you're feeling right now is a result of your thoughts, but it's a result of thoughts that we're emotionally fueling. So This is asking you to change your perspective, and I believe the Seven of Pentacles is as well. The Seven of Pentacles talks a lot about potentials and timing and really feeling for yourself what the right time means. But even more than that, with this card today, I'm getting strongly the idea of vision. So it's like you were stuck at the bottom of the ocean. You get some thoughts, some calmer thoughts that pull you up. Maybe this means meditating. Maybe this means just crying it out until you can't, um, until you have nothing left. And then letting the thoughts take over that are going to kind of calm that energy down. And then asking you to look at a bigger picture. You know, sometimes there's a reason for delays. Sometimes there's a reason for things not being apparent right away because there's other forces, there's other energies that have to align. And that can be really frustrating for us when we want results like that. But there's a reason why there's a delay. And this is almost asking you to savor this moment of delay. I'm feeling that from this card right now. To savor this delay and savor this time to get yourself more emotionally and mentally realigned. Because the next card, we've got the Hierophant. The Hierophant is kind of a funny card. He can make readings heavier, but he can also make readings lighter. And when I looked at these cards, what I feel is that this Hierophant is telling you, lighten up, it's okay. The universe has it, we've got it. And that your time in this space is very blessed. And that's sometimes hard to accept because it may feel very uncomfortable, it may feel awful, it may feel overwhelming. But the Hierophant is kind of trying to pull you back to earth because it's almost like you, with the emotional excesses, the picture of reality is blown out of proportion. It's exaggerated, it's not seen completely clearly. And so the Hierophant is reminding you like, okay, but you're still living on earth. So look in front of you. What do you have to deal with in this moment? In your five senses world of your sight and your taste and your ears and your touch, your ears, your hearing. I don't even know if I mentioned five, smell. In that moment, what do you have to deal with? What do you have to deal with in this present moment, in the here and now? Not projecting into the future, not worrying about the future, not getting stuck in the past. But what do you have to do in this present moment? And it's with that quiet mind and that awareness of all the senses. So this is also a strong message of really stay in your body. When you're feeling something emotional, ask yourself, what are the sensations? Do I feel a tightness? Do I feel a heaviness? Do I feel heat? Am I feeling cold? Am I feeling pressure? And what exactly am I feeling and where am I feeling it? So that also helps you maintain an objective position here, this Page of Swords. It helps you maintain an objective position over what's going on. And then that emotion is allowed to process out of you. So you notice we're not fighting it, we're not judging it, we're just getting interested to know it. And then I see you as climbing back up on that bridge and taking that next trusting step forward. Because this is really about your journey. Whatever happens outside of you, it's not going to change your journey because your journey is your contract between yourself and your higher self. And that, your soul and your higher self, your soul and your ego, your whatever, however you want to say this, but this is about you. And so this is about helping you navigate through trust and through that higher perspective, that higher mind that sees that everything happens for a reason. Everything not only happens for a reason, it happens for our highest good. So even though we may be locked into a particular reality, the Hierophant, like I said, I feel a lightness with this card. I feel a blessing with it. So whatever our reality is actually a blessing. And I know if you're in that negative, in that emotional state, you're probably like, yeah, right, lady. But the truth is that underneath all the emotional energy, the circumstances emerge as a blessing. I had personal experience with that yesterday, and once I got through my own emotional stuff, it was very clear what the blessing was. And you know, I want to say the evening didn't unfold as I had planned, and I was really pissed about that. But when I looked back on it, there was actually a bigger blessing than I could have anticipated had the evening unfolded according to my plans. Right? So there's a bigger message, there's bigger benefit for us when we surrender to where our higher self wants to take us. But for you, the challenge is pulling yourself up out of that river, out of that deep ocean, and calming through the mind. So if you've got some questions about how to do that, let me know in the comments. I'm more than happy to share some practical tips. And if you are curious about your personal message from Spirit, I do offer intuitive readings and spiritual guidance over Zoom. You can find out more on trueguidancetarot.com. Just wanted to put that out there so you know it's available if you ever need it. And I'll look forward to seeing you next week. I know this is a hard time, and it's especially hard for you, but there's definitely light at the end of the tunnel if you decide to go that direction. So I will see you next time, and have a good week.